Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it is the start of a new year. 2026 has officially begun. And the doom posting for Wuthering Waves has also begun with it, because the revenue report for December has also released on the 1st of January. And of course, you're gonna have a lot of uneducated individuals on the internet who simply have access to a device, but not a lot of critical thinking, going ahead and posting about how bad Wuthering Waves is doing. How can Wuwa try so hard and release so many characters and still not beat its main competitors? So let's go ahead, let's take a look at some of these results. Let's start describing what exactly is actually going on in all of these games. And of course, this is going to be the big one. Actually break down where the misinformation is coming from over here. So without further ado, this chart is of course going to be located from the gacha revenue main thread that always pops up on r/gacha gaming. And that subreddit probably has to be in some of the most celebratory mood they've ever been, because Hoyoverse is on top. You got Genshin Impact with that 40 million. You got ZZZ with that 33.8. And you got Honkai Star Rail with that 27. And then Wuwa with 23 on this chart of just mobile estimates. And when it's just mobile estimates, they're literally estimating Global's revenue by like multiplying CN by a certain number. That's what the estimates are based off of. And so just right off of the bat, the first bit of misinformation over here is the idea that mobile spending is indicative of all gacha spending. Because guess what I'm doing right now, actually? I'm playing Wuthering Waves. That's gonna blow some minds. I'm playing Wuthering Waves on the computer. And that means when I spend money on the game, I spend money on the computer version of it. And so anything I spend money on never actually counts in here. And so that's one of the dynamics that obviously is not going to be stated up front by anyone that's doom posting the game. But I just wanted to let you all know about that, because it applies to not just Wuthering Waves, but every game on here. Every game on here is actually making a lot more money than what you're seeing over here. And I'm saying that for the Hoyoverse games as well. The only place where you use the mobile estimates as, again, the sole source of truth, which you really can't because they're estimates anyways, is for games that don't have PC clients, like Love and Deep Space or Pokemon TCG. And so mobile estimates for those games, it's way more accurate. That's why this game makes so much money every month. That's why it's always on top, because there's not another platform to spend money on it. That's just how it works. That's just going to be some upfront details about the results. Now, let's go ahead and talk about one other dynamic that I'm not sure is necessarily playing out over here, but it's going to be incredibly important to think about when you take a look at Wuwa's results in particular. Wuthering Waves has a history of, on Sensor Tower, where this information is coming from. Wuthering Waves has a tendency to have delayed results. And this has happened before, because as we're all aware, Wuthering Waves 3.0 and Linnea's banner launched on the 25th of December. And there have been many documented instances in the past, and don't worry, I've got the glue right here. There have been some documented instances in the past where Sensor Tower's estimates appear delayed or incorrect due to data processing lag. And Sensor Tower reliably gets information for Hoyoverse's games almost ASAP. But Wuthering Waves, it's had a literal history that I've documented in a prior video. That's why my video is actually getting sourced here, because it was proven, and that's why it's showing up on Google's AI overview. Wuwa has been specifically delayed in reporting its revenue compared to other games. And it's changed in real time. And this is also the other thing. You even have the official confirmation from the website itself that Sensor Tower may revise or adjust their estimates throughout the month, at which time the website may also be updated. And that means they may become outdated as estimates are refined. So once again, when Wuwa has a track record of having its revenue delayed, which was proven in this video, where Shorekeeper's revenue was like delayed by like 15 fucking days, there's a decent chance, right, that Linnea's revenue, anything associated with 3.0, and of course, right, the rerun banners for two of the most popular characters in the game, what are the chances that that's being delayed when Wuwa has a track record of being delayed? Or this just means that Linnea and Cartithia and Chacona, guys, made less money than only 5 million more than Furlova and Cantarella on mobile. Otherwise, the take is these 3 units, only 5 more than this, because that was phase 2. I don't know. Somebody might find that to be believable. Some people might not be. I'm just simply pushing forward. that suggestion out there for you. Because once again, these are just mobile numbers. But of course, when you have Hoyo shills desperately trying to find any way to doom post the game and say that Hoyoverse games are better, what else am I going to do except correct the misinformation? That's another potential stopgap in the accuracy of these estimates. But let's put on a bit of a different hat. Let's think about an alternative universe. Let's think about a universe where all these results are current. All these results are actually accurate, and speculate a little bit for why that might actually be the case. Maybe Wuthering Waves 3.0 did flop. So let's go ahead and think about the results in these other titles. Let's talk about Zenless Zone Zero first. If you're not familiar with what's going on in Zenless Zone Zero, let me get you updated. Zenless Zone Zero currently has their third relaunch and a $250 total spending event active in the game. And it's just funny that they call their rewards like free stuff when you gotta spend literally $250 to claim it. And like literally the main way to do that is by just buying monochromes. That's like the main methodology of advancing this event to get these tickets and of course get these free rewards. That's the thank you gift to the player base. That's what ZZZ has going on right now. Maybe that's the reason for why there's a bit of a growth. Who knows? That would kind of make sense, right? But another thing that I want to show you that's going hand in hand with this increase of revenue in ZZZ, you want to know what they're not doing? They're not fixing the game. One of the problems with Zenless Zone Zero 2.4 was the fact that Yi Shengguang, the on-banner character for 2.5, guys, she didn't have her voice lines in 2.4. So in 2.5, they never replaced them. But they have a spending event for $250, but they can't replace Yi Shengai's voice lines. Because this is what it sounds like. It's not on mute, right? You heard the other guy, but you don't hear the main character. Like, literally the main character. The main character of 2.5. In 2.4, she doesn't have a voice. You then have a spending event when you don't fix the game. This is what these players are bragging about. They're bragging about the fact that Hoyo's able to get players spending money on the game when they don't do anything at all to make it better. They literally farm you for a spending event and then proceed to do this to the game. Oh, but wait, Hoyoverse players should already be experienced with this. Because another game that's on here, ladies and gentlemen, Honkai Star Rail. Do you want to know what these numbers are probably also being boosted up by? Honkai Star Rail just had a spending event in 3.7. Yeah, this spending event lasted for 42 days. And so, part of it naturally should have bled into this month, right? So, this is Honkai Star Rail with the benefit of the last version spending event. And you want to know what version Honkai Star Rail is currently on right now? Oh boy, yeah. This is the version that made Box 2 start doom posting Wuthering Waves every day on Twitter. This is the version that caused basically every HSRCC to start schizoing out and start dramatically altering the type of content that they produce. Oh my lord, this is the worst patch in the history of the fucking game. The worst patch in the history of the game, and that's right after their goddamn spending event. And apparently this unit is just broken too, right? Because she just lets you do Super Break without even doing Super Break. Awesome. Amazing. And guess when this released? Yeah, you still had 15 days of the prior spending event. Counted this month. Do you see what these Hoyoverse players are bragging about right now? They are, in the month of December, bragging about getting milked like cows. They're bragging about basically giving money to a developer that does not even fucking try. They're out here celebrating the fact that these games that give quality like this, they're celebrating that these games are making money. Where instead of fixing the game, they put in a $250 fucking spending event and then ruin Shiyu defense. They ruin Shiyu defense and make it unfucking playable unless you spend hundreds of dollars on, oh wait, you're already gonna do that anyways because they added this event, so I guess it works out, right? They're bragging about this, guys. This is the most pathetic player base I've ever seen. Thing that I forgot to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to gacha revenue and all of that stuff. While you have games like Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail, right, begging their players for money, asking for everything at full price, giving no actual real discounts when it comes to these top-ups. Do you know what Kuro Games and Wuthering Waves are doing? They're instead no spending events, none of that stuff, but they have some of the biggest discounted bundles they've ever had in the history of the game. And so if you were somebody that's spending money for 3.0, you're literally saving money. There's no way not to save money. Kuro is basically giving out a shit ton, a fuck ton of discounts to anyone spending money in this update. Without these, it's reasonable to say they could have made more money, assuming those numbers are even counting 3.0 spending. That's the difference between a spending event, where everything's full price, and bundles, where you simply, everything is lower price than what it's originally at. One's a bit more player-friendly than the other, don't you think? And there's actually a great post by an actual ZZZ player, and it was somebody mentioning how depressed they were as a ZZZ player that this update is making money. That the devs are essentially being rewarded for one of the lowest quality stories, one of the worst end games, one of the worst updates ever. And this ZZZ player was just like lamenting over the fact that with the spending event, people would think that this is actually a good product. And the best thing is that I looked at the person's profile, and they actually were a Zenless Zone Zero player, brother. They were posting about that shit for fucking days. Ah! Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I found it. This is the exact tweet I was talking about. I don't want to be pessimistic, but lol, the way this patch is selling, despite the shitty direction it's taking, its extreme fan service, destroying a whole character's characterization, this game is cooked and the quality is never going back to what we used to love. And this is what I meant, brother. Brother, they got Hugo and Lycon in their fucking profile picture. And like fucking all Genshin. Oh yeah, this is a woo-wah player in disguise, guys. Oh yeah, this is a woo-wah player in disguise. You're fucking right, boys. Oh yeah, who said it's a woo-wah player in disguise? Man, it's a lot of work to fake being this gay and to fake liking Hoyo this much. Yeah, this is surely a woo-wah player faking being this gay and faking liking Hoyo this much. Yeah, brother, totally. Good thing I found the glue this time. It was that was way more confirmation. That was more confirmation than what we needed. Good thing I found that one. Good lord. Anyways, that's just a reflection of the actual quality in this update, ladies and gentlemen. People are out here getting sad about the fact it's making money because the patch is so fucking bad, but you have delusional parts of the player base that are celebrating when a dog shit patch makes money. What does that mean, guys? This just incentivizes... Sorry, this ain't a dog shit patch. This just incentivizes more of this shit. Don't fix the game, just put in a spending event. Acquire players by having a good product? Fuck that. Acquire revenue and lose players by just having spending events. Just have everybody spend more. That's the behavior you're encouraging. That's what you're celebrating. And that's the Hoyoverse fan base. And so, ladies and gentlemen, is it really that great to be a Hoyo player right now? You have two games that are currently on two of the worst updates they've ever had, but their revenue went up, or the revenue is staying up on the two worst updates the game has ever had. What do you think they're going to expect for future updates? Fuck it. Who cares if the patch is dog shit? We make money anyways. People spend anyways. They're a bunch of mindless fucking dogs. They'll just spend anyways. They fucking spent here. They spent when this is the shit you get in the game. They'll spend money on everything. Anything. They've got no preferences if they spent money when this is the shit that's being put into the fucking game. Good lord. Now, apparently there's been a bit of a final analysis done by CN based off some of the projections and the numbers. You've had guys cooking up some projections of how games have gone from 2025 compared to 2024. Wuthering Waves, year over year, is up 78%. 79 actually. ZZZ's down by 29% compared to last year. Not surprising considering, well, you've already gotten the rundown for why it's not good. HSR down as well. I'm surprised by this, but I'm so happy. I'm so happy. It's great to see that a predatory game from a predatory company with predatory mechanics getting treated like it's a predator. Awesome. Genshin, minus 24. And that's the game, right, that's doing the best. And it makes the most sense that Genshin is the one that's decreasing the least because it's the one that has the largest and the most stable player base. All this tracks to just basically say the era of Hoyoverse is coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen. The era of Hoyoverse is coming to and end, because players are recognizing that you are in fact getting subpar dog shit products. And the thing is, guys, you wanna know what's funny? These numbers over here, right, that I'm lambasting the HSR and ZZZ fan base for celebrating a year ago, if they released version 2.5 a year ago, guys, ZZZ would have made 100 million plus. I guarantee it. If they had released version 2.5 a year ago, this would have been 100M. But the problem is that these developers have eroded the trust of their entire player base by repeatedly failing each and every single fucking relaunch they've had. If you want to know what the impact of a relaunch can be, look at ZZZ 1.4. That brought back an insane number of players to the game. And like, I think shot up its revenue numbers like fucking crazy. Results like these, with a spending event and the most broken unit they've ever released in the history of the game, Yi Shungite as well. Yi Shungite plus $250 spending event, and it ain't reaching 1.4's numbers. It's got more than 1.4 had. It had more reasons to spend than 1.4. Guys, ZZZ even has their incredibly fucking predatory. Oh, I need to show this as well, guys. ZZZ also has its giga, insanely, disgustingly predatory rerun banner system. Where, again, guys, they're desperately trying to get people to pull and just waste their resources on dog shit units. Oh, yeah, they're S-rate guaranteed one, right? Where they have, units that are just going to get power corrupt in one version. Oh, wait, one of them already got power corrupt in the version. Yeah, one of them already got power corrupt in the version, so Alice is out as well. That's the thing. They have so many reasons for people to spend, and it doesn't reach the numbers of prior versions. Anyways, that's the situation, boys. And again, I'm genuinely of the opinion that this drama, all these posts and whatever, they don't even have basis. I'm still of the opinion that even with these mobile estimates, WuWa is severely bottlenecked and delayed. I still think that this number is going to be updated in like 5 days and it's going to be like 10, 15 higher. Legitimately, that's what I think is going to happen. Because, well, let's just be real. WuWa stuff is delayed all the fucking time. So these Doom posts could just have no merit at all in the first place. This list is not including ZZZ 2.4 or WuWa 3.0. You can't calculate those number sales this fast. If you're telling me that Bon Yue pulled these numbers by himself, that is definitely a take. Maybe Bon Yue by himself pulled these numbers. Yeah, maybe Dialin and Bon Yue pulled these numbers by themselves. That's definitely a ballsy one. So Dialin and Bon Yue pulled this by themselves. That's a brave take. I don't know if I agree with that one. That's a brave take for sure. I'm more so of the opinion Hoyo's numbers get counted fast when WuWa's numbers have had a history of being delayed in the counting. And I just think that's what's going on. That's going to be it for this coverage, ladies and gentlemen. The Doom posting, once again, has pretty much no fucking merit at all, because in one case, it doesn't even make sense because WuWa actually made more. And in the other case, Hoyoverse players are celebrating the worst patches in the history of their games making money, which is just going to lead to worse and worse patches as the game goes on. So, yeah. Have a good one, guys. That'll be it for this one. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.